to go into the program. I am Preeti Nagaraj, your host for the day, and it's my greatest pleasure to welcome you all to this special event aptly named Illuminate, held in Mysuru, a city of royalty, education, and excellence in industries and engineering marvels. I'm honored to be joined by so many distinguished guests, dignitaries, leaders from across the sectors of education industry playing a significant role in the country. I am grateful for your presence here today. On behalf of the finest minds at LTTS, which is L&T Technology Services, and NIE, National College of Engineering, I would like to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you. I hope you will enjoy the day, gain valuable insights from our guests, make new connections, and take away memories that will last a lifetime. Before we go into the event, I have a few mandatory announcements to make. May I request you all to put your phones on silent mode, please? This is in your own interest. Also, in case of any emergency, please use the nearest fire exits. We have doctors on the site and an ambulance to help any medical situations, though we sincerely wish no such situation arises. Now to move on to the important part of the event, Illuminate. While at the time of registering you all have understood the context of this significant event, let me take a minute to run you all through this beacon of hope called Illuminate. First of its kind, a very momentous one at that, Illuminate is a joint initiative by LTTS and the National Institute of Engineering. Illuminate celebrates the coming together of leading global ER&D major and the premier engineering institute in Mysuru and focus on nurturing engineering excellence among young students, engineering professionals, and a wider audience. This is a joint platform for sharing technical know-how and expertise from some of the leading practitioners who are reshaping the global engineering landscape. At this juncture, I must mention we have more than 3,500 registered attendees to this event, online and offline. What an enthusiastic welcome for Illuminate that takes its wings today. Can I hear some applause? Is there some enthusiasm? Thank you. Thank you so much. We are all celebrating, isn't it? As we start with the very first Illuminate, today we have with us two of the most distinguished speakers who have played a crucial role in the recent advancements our country has seen. Dr. Mylswamy Annadurai, Padma Shri awardee, popularly known as the Moon Man of India. We welcome you, sir. And Shri Sudhanshu Mani, the innovator of the Vande Bharat Express, new age trains that are revolutionizing the movement. They will be sharing their insights and their exciting journey. I now request our distinguished guests, Dr. Mylswamy Annadurai, Shri Sudhanshu Mani, along with the President of NIE College, Dr. M.S. Ranganath, LTTS Chief Human Resources Officer M. Lakshmanan, Principal of NIE College, Dr. Rohini Nagapadma, to please arrive on the dais to light the lamp as a mark of ceremonial opening of the event. Can we have a very good round of applause, please? Thank you all. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya say our holy scriptures that hold knowledge close to the light. And here we are at Illuminate, lighting the lamps of minds across this room and elsewhere too. As we move into the program, I request LTTS Chief Human Resources Officer M. Lakshmanan likes to deliver the welcome address. May I request Mr. M. Lakshmanan to deliver the welcome address? Yeah.
No, I don't need. Hello. Subodaya, Mysuru. Good morning. Namaskara. I'm extremely happy to be here this morning. I'm reminded almost 30 years ago when I came here the first time. And I, like all tourists, went to the Vrindavan Gardens, and I saw the lights illuminate there. And it was a sight. It was a sight, it was a beauty that I have never ever seen in my life 30 years ago. And this city has left a profound impression on me from 30 years ago to now. Every time I come to Mysore, including this morning, the weather and the air quality and brightness this morning made me feel so very cheerful in the morning as I was driving into this place. So it's amazing to be here in Mysore, and it's always great to start a day with so many people in such a wonderful auditorium. Illuminate for LTTS started off as an idea in one of our leadership meetings where we were wondering, how do we compete for the engineering talent in this country? People have so many choices of going and becoming actors on TV, anchors on TV, dancers, musicians, and we are losing away on perhaps top talent engineers coming into our field. 30 years ago, when I passed out, there were only two choices. You either became an engineer or a doctor, or you are a good for nothing, right? Today, talent has so many options, and so it becomes extremely important to catch them young. And how do we catch engineers young? And an idea that crossed our mind was, can we start Illuminate? Can we start bringing Indian engineering luminaries to different cities, talk to talent, talk to potential engineering talent much early in life so that their interest for becoming an engineer becomes brighter. And in that series, I'm extremely happy to be here in the inaugural session of Illuminate. And I welcome each one of you to come up in the morning on Saturday. And I'm sure the hall is about 60–70% full. I'm sure by the time our distinguished engineers, scientists start talking, the hall will be full. At LTTS, we believe in empowering our employees. With over 21,000 engineers, we drive technology to its boundaries, innovations at global level. We redefine several areas in engineering and emerging technologies such as electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, connected vehicles, 5G, digital manufacturing, artificial intelligence, medical technology, and sustainability. LTTS is recognized for its commitment to technology, a fact witnessed by over 1,000 patents that LTTS and its employees have filed as of December 22. It is one of the highest number of patents for engineering services from India. LTTS's deep commitment to technology and innovation finds reflection in our vision. Our vision statement says, engineering a sustainable tomorrow through technology and innovation. This forms the foundation part of our culture manifesto that drives LTTS mission to be the engineering partner of choice by enabling innovation with world-class technologies, process, and people, and delivering inclusive growth to all stakeholders. We also recognize that it's important when we are building our talent pool to go beyond the top cities, right? To go beyond Bangalore, to go beyond Bombay and Chennai and Kolkata and Delhi. So Mysuru is a very, very important part of L&T Technology Services growth. Today, we have more than 4,000 engineers in our Mysore campus, and we want 6,000 hopefully in the next couple of years. Mysuru is the city of M. Visvesvaraya, and Illuminate commencing in this city is a very major step, and we are very, very hopeful that we will not only inspire young minds in Mysuru, but we will inspire more young minds in many more Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities in this country. With the launch of Karnataka Digital Economy Mission initiative of Beyond Bengaluru and promoting Mysuru as a cluster, the beautiful city is poised to emerge as the next hub for technology and innovation in this region. Today, Mysuru is attracting top engineering talent from across the country, including some overseas countries. Our partner, the National Institute of Engineering, is at the forefront of helping IITs, NITs, and central universities, and we are very, very proud to partner with them. There are over 40,000 alumni, most of them occupying very high positions globally, administrators, academicians, sportspersons, and entrepreneurs from NIE. The NIE alumni also comprises of some of the finest engineering minds who contribute to research and development across the world. And I must say that in L&T and LTTS, we are very, very lucky to have some of them occupy leadership position. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Ranganath, President NIE Mysuru, and Dr. Rohini Nagapadma, Principal NIE, along with her team for their support and guidance in helping us realize this vision of industry-academia collaboration. A special mention of gratitude to our own Mr. Sashidhara Dongre, who is the center head of LTTS Mysuru, Karthikeyan, and a whole host of LTTS people who have been working for more than 2 months to put this event together. My thank you to each and every one of you who are working behind the scenes. Coming to the main event for today, we are extremely delighted and honored to have amongst us two very distinguished speakers for the inaugural session of Illuminate. I take this opportunity to welcome Padma awardee Dr. Mylswamy Annadurai, Moon Man of India, and Shri Sudhanshu Mani, the man who is all over the social media for the last few months. And I have been personally impressed because I was a railwayman more than 30 years ago. And every time I saw those videos getting forwarded in different groups, I was so very amazed with the passion with which Dr. Mani speaks. I'm going to be privileged to see him live today. But as a railwayman, I feel so proud that people from the government are willing to come out and speak, right? In the past, when I was in the government, we rarely went out and spoke. but here is a person who's coming out and speaking, and my God, he speaks so amazingly well. Dr. Annadurai's contribution to India's space odyssey has been immense. As a project director of Chandrayaan-1, India's first mission to the moon that boosted India's space program, Dr. Annadurai put India's space agency at par with the world's greatest. In a long and illustrious career, Dr. Annadurai also served as the program director of Chandrayaan-2 and Mars orbiter mission, that is Mangalyaan. While Dr. Annadurai reached for the stars, our other distinguished guest, Dr. Sudhanshu Mani, Shri Sudhanshu Mani, brought the modern train set that caught the imagination of the country. Modi ji is going to different parts, inaugurating those Vande Bharat trains, and I think recently he was in Mumbai also. And his trailblazing journey led to design and development of India's first semi-high-speed train set, now in service as the much talked about Vande Bharat Express. Mr. Mani spent 38 years in Indian Railways Service of Mechanical Engineers, IRSME, gained vast experience in projects, railway operations, R&D, and technology rolling stock design. Mr. Mani signed off his glorious career in Indian Railways with the turnaround of Vande Bharat, one of the finest examples of Make in India. The story of their journey is sure to inspire us to achieve greater heights. I feel fortunate and humbled to be here together with these legends of engineering, and I'm confident that all of you will join me in welcoming them with a big, thunderous round of applause. And also stay attentive and listen, not only from all their experiences, but also the passion and dedication and commitment with which they're going to come and speak here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lax, for your very warm welcome to the guests and everybody that have gathered for the event today. As we speak, we must have broken the internet today, because I can tell you right now there are hundreds of people gathering, hundreds of people logging into the channels to witness this program, and the number is increasing only by the minute. So we extend a very warm welcome to all of them, and thank you for joining us, even if it is virtually. And as we see, we are still having people coming in with a lot of interest and keenness to watch the program and hear our experts. Now we move into the core of the program, and may I have the pleasure of introducing all of you to Mr. Mani, though he needs no introduction. It's a small duty that we all have to perform and be abreast with the background information regarding Mr. Mani. It's an unbridled pleasure to be doing this. The man behind Vande Bharat trains, and he is the one that has revolutionized the way India moves today. And that's a big Herculean task. Mr. Sudhanshu Mani retired in the apex grade of Government of India from the Indian Railways Service of Mechanical Engineering as General Manager, Integral Coach Factory, Chennai, after serving the Indian Railways for 38 years. He also served as railway advisor in the Embassy of India, Berlin, for 3 years, interacting with railway systems in Europe and other advanced countries on behalf of Indian Railways. He is a fellow of Institute of Mechanical Engineers, London. He led the Trains 18 Vande Bharat Express project, the first ever indigenous semi-high-speed train of India from concept to delivery. After retirement, he's engaged in advisory role in the corporate world and technical, strategic and investment consulting, and he has discovered that as someone who accomplished tasks and projects meaningfully in a government system, it was easier for him to deliver in any field of his interest. His journey in leading and completing the unique Train 18 project, recounted is recounted in his bestseller book, My Train 18 Story. He has authored 6 more books, including 4 on a subject of his special passion, art and railways. Indeed, a very, very unique passion, isn't it? One each on greening of environment and collation of works of Ghalib and Shakespeare. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is, here we have a man with multiple personalities. Apart from his intense work as a consultant, he is also engaged in multiple activities, like serving on advisory and editorial board of reading railway and metro journals. As we start with I request Mr. Sudhanshu Mani to please come on the dais and share his insightful journey from being part of the railways to transforming the sector in a way that the country never witnessed before. I must also add a small information. He has an art and cultural channel on YouTube, The Public, and he promotes and curates visual arts in association with prominent art gallery of Lucknow. And you can read a lot of information on his blog, anindecisiveindianblogspot.com. Thank you. We are now about to witness a small film on Mr. Mani. Can we have the film, please? Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Sudhanshu Mani, retired General Manager of Integral Coach Factory of Indian Railways, Chennai. Now an independent consultant, a writer, blogger, speaker, editor, and promoter of visual arts, literature, and culture. I'll be speaking on the case study on Vande Bharat Express, the first semi-high-speed modern train project which I led from concept to design, to engineering, to manufacture, to validation. Good morning, young India, and young at heart India. So, you've not really seen me, so I'm not going to be funnier than that. I'm not nervous, I'm not going to lie. And sorry, Mr. Carnegie, I am absolutely sure I'll be able to speak what I wish to speak. I will start with the wonderful saying of the people's president, APJ Abdul Kalam, that dream is not the thing you see in sleep, but is that thing which doesn't let you sleep. In The Merchant of Venice, Portia says that if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor man's cottages princesses' palaces. So unlike, it's a kind world, and Preeti told a lot about me. It's a kind world because they tell you what you were able to do. They never tell you what you attempted and failed to do. I will therefore speak only about whatever little I could do with my team. Proof of the pudding, deja vu for me, but maybe some takeaway for the young friends here. A railway man for life, love it or hate it, you cannot ignore it. As I am not a great speaker, I do borrow a lot from wisdom down the ages, whom I call my poet uncles. 600 years old Kabir, my English uncle Shakespeare, my nearest uncle Ghalib. There is a time regime given to me, strict 25 minutes, so I cannot go long and winding. But I do have a caveat for the question and answer which follows, is as a railwayman, I have an inherent right to be derailed, so any attempt to derail me is not going to work. what I call my sarkari, quasi-sarkari presentation. You cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So I'll begin with, I think I've done many things in life, I think, but I'm always told to speak about this train. So the same terroir, same body, same tannin, perhaps a rose for you. I'll start with what is Atmanirbhar. Make in India 2014, rejigged into Atmanirbhar with the belief that not only the factory of the world, but the lions of Make in India would roar into self-reliance. Have we heard those roars in the industry? I don't know. There are these things, which you see on the screen, physical stimuli, free, partially guaranteed, easy loans. I don't understand. Economists do. But I do feel that the spirit of Atmanirbharta is perhaps not fully understood. You know what innovation is. Once tried a concept in a market where there is an outcome of value, a technology which employs all these things, but something I've added there, and that is artistry, and an ecosystem to manage all this, encourage all this, to let it burgeon with pride and ownership, because that's what is going to give you or make you do 110%, 120% what you are otherwise capable of. So we have this regime of transfer of technology in Indian Railways. Every train or locomotive or whatever moves has been brought under some transfer arrangement from a multinational, transfer of documents and so on and everything. Classroom lectures, foreign jaunts, but you still are not able to make it to the standard you're imported. And why is that? It's because technology, ladies and gentlemen, is a creation that lives in your mind and your heart. There is no way to transfer that. How many of you understand Hindi, Urdu? Nevertheless, I'll translate. Mere शेर आईना खाने में तेरी बेशुमार अदाओं के, मगर ऐसी भी है कोई अदा जो रहेगी सीना-ए राज में. I can go poetic about your beauty, but there is an elegance of your elegance which will remain buried in the recesses of my heart. There's no way to gain access to that. Create your own is my simple message, unless there is a large gap. And then, to do anything, anywhere, at the risk of 1,000 repetition, I would only tell you, I can normally ask the audience, but I know what you'll reply, but there is something that's more important, is to simply just love what you do. Love people around you. Love your organization, and if you don't, quit. Unless it's a serious bread and butter issue, is my first message to my young friends here. Human resource continues. I was telling somebody about ChatGPT, we'll not go into that. Continues to be the most important resource to be exploited. Unless they are with you, you are not going to lead yourself anywhere. एक लफ्ज़ से मोहब्बत का अदना ये फसाना है. This word love has this brief story. सिमटे तो दिले आशिक, फैले तो ज़माना है. If it expands, if it shrinks, it is the heart of a lover, but if it expands, it is the world. For me, the message is simple, love whatever you do. For me, it was so easy. Remember, as you rushed to the window seat in a train, when you traveled, as the magic, the marvel, the wonder of India passed you by. Indolence, sloth, hard work, grind, celebration, joy, pathos, mourning, desolate here, crowded there. The journey becomes the objective, not the destination. You peep behind the open door of an Indian Railways train, see a snaking train behind you, and you get goosebumps. And still a great leveler where the richest to the poorest stand next to each other to catch the same train. So it was easy for me to love this organization. I am just giving an example. In Tempest, Antonio says that the travelers never did lie. Fools at home condemn them. If you're not able to appreciate the wonder of India through the window of an Indian Railways train. Maybe you are a prisoner of your own conflicts and confines. I leave it at that. But believe me, it's not difficult to love what you do. Just attempt it, it'll happen. But I'm not here to try and talk to you about the romance and the legacy of Indian Railways. I'm here to talk to you about this. Close your eyes. For last decades and decades, the recall of an Indian railway trains remains what you see on the screen. Color might have changed, more AOC coaches from red to blue, but even as a child and in service, I had this angst as to why with such a large pool of engineers, with such a large organization, why can't we have trains which were somewhere near what we see in magazines, what I saw as a child in magazines. That's the little story that I want to tell you about, because the angst was, एक जैसे लग रहे हैं सभी चेहरे मुझे, होश की ये इंतहा है या मैं नशे में हूँ. You have to look beyond love, because the only thing that's permanent in any organization, ladies and gentlemen, is change. In 2016, 2.5 years, 29 months before retirement, I came to be posted as a general manager. I asked for, unlike others who want to go to a zone, which is a fiefdom, to be posted in Integral Coach Factory, Chennai, which was set up in 50s. As a dream of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, as a maker of the current technology railway coaches. But it was not followed by any vision or action plan by us railwaymen. So it was only doing more of the same. Lot of expansion, but hardly any variety. It has a world record of having made 70,000 coaches. Nobody is near it from one factory, not even in China, but more of the same. In 50s, this gentleman in the center, Chow and Lai of China, came to ICF and wrote in the visitor's book, you see the translation here, that I want all Chinese engineers to come and learn how to make coaches. 65 years, and where have we reached? We have to rush to China to make a beeline and learn from them, not only in railway technology, but so many spheres. I made this table, I'll quickly rush through it. The empowerment given by this government to a general manager is immense. You can paint this canvas with a palette of colors afforded to you in hues and shades of your choice. But if you consider that you are a Sarkari man, you will remember my uncle and say, what's in a rose? What's in a name? A rose would smell as sweet or rotten. Or my other uncle, all empowerment is fine, but we are government, we are employed not to do. हमको मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत, लेकिन दिल के खुश रखने को ख्याल अच्छा है. Or you think of this canvas given to you, which was my general thought. First thing in any organization, especially in a government organization, is to begin with empathy and break the colonial mindset. Openness, shun all protocol. What you see on the left is family tree, 12,000 men and women in that tree, those dots. Nobody bigger or smaller. Became a selfie point, spirit of belongingness that it gave to the organization. On the right top, was told not to interfere with production, but a 10,000 crore enterprise was spending a lot of money in facilities. Used to just take a stroll in the factory, meet 500 to 1,000 people. If you remember, once Rahul Gandhi went and hugged the Prime Minister in the Parliament, and then the Prime Minister said, कि मुझे आज पता चला कि गले लगने और गले पड़ने में क्या फर्क होता है. तो मैं गले पड़ जाता था. And I would ask only one question. Any problem? 99.5 times the answer was no problem, sir. But a bridge was built. And then we government people. You can excuse the politicians. but we put our name on plaques when we inaugurate something. Tend to make us immortalized. I said, 165 such plaques were existing, from chairman railway board to member to GM, who not. I said, extract them and throw them in the dust. That's where they belong. From now on, every facility will be inaugurated by the senior most member of staff from that area. He is the one who's going to value it. He will come with his family, son, daughter, parents, spouse, stand next to it and take away with him a memory which will last him his lifetime. I'm skipping some slides, thanks to Mr. Karthikeyan here. One caveat, love is fine, but there are 2% of people who are incorrigible. 25-30% work without specific motivation, just a pat on the back. Others watch whether there is a premium on working or a punishment for not working. And for these 2%, there are only two ways: counsel and reform, or throw them out. There is no punishment. You don't punish people and keep them with you. We sacked 165 such people. And that mercy follows. Mercy cannot start as, Juliet has said, don't waste your love on somebody who doesn't value it. Kshama shobati us bhujang ko jiske paas garal ho. Bhujang is snake. Garal is poison. Uska kya jo vishhin dant rahit vineet aur saral ho. If you are a poisonous snake, you will be respected. If you are a poisonless snake, once you know it, that snake is of no value. Show your fangs to those 2% all the way. Innovation cannot be forced down your throat as we do in government. Command, demand, cajole? No. Patronize? No. Encourage. Every man has wonderful ideas. You have to just give it a platform. Most of the things I've been able to do in life, ladies and gentlemen, has come from, nothing is mine, all from ideas below me. And one poet has said, अगर शरर है तो भड़के जो फूल है तो खिले तरह तरह की तलब तेरे रंगे लब से है. There are so many hues that are available on the lips of beauty that you have to only know about them, channelize them. Well, we took the production to these heights, refused to induct new men because our tendency always is to ask for more men, whereas we should always never ask more men, because there are those good ones who are giving you all the productivity. Have more trust in them. Reduce your manpower, never increase it. We did a lot about environment, but I'll not go this, but I will spend 2 minutes here. Frailty, thy name is not woman. It's not about lip service. I'll give you an example. There is this government system of Vishakha where if there is any sexual or gender-based harassment, you have to do an inquiry and things like that. I said, once I learn it, informally or formally, I don't want a complaint. Building a coach entirely on their own. And their output, if not better, was certainly equal to that of men. We did something about more of the same, but I'll skip that also. Coming to the story now, for which I have perhaps about 5 minutes. So it was all about, why not a train set, departmental wranglings, and this gentleman who was eating dollars, import, and all those things. But that's all negativity. It's all about this. We all have large number of concerns, which is good as a citizen, but there is that small dot where we wield influence to do something. Concerns can be very big. Even the Prime Minister doesn't have a circle as big as the concern, but we forget that small influence. There's a Chinese saying that there's no use cursing the darkness, but to light your own candle. शिकवा जुल्मत शब्द से कहीं बेहतर था. Shikwa complained, Zulmat, darkness, shab, evening. It's much better than cursing darkness. अपने हिस्से की एक क्षमा जलाते जाते. Coming to the people's president's dream, which should not let you sleep, my message is, don't live your dream. Look after your bread and butter. But don't let that dream die. Let it linger. Don't let it be extinguished. An opportunity will come to you to let it realize, and that had come to me now. To light my own candle and realize this dream, I had the platform, wonderful set of staff and officers with chutzpah to do something new in Chennai, waiting. And I was only to channelize their energy, nothing more than that. They had boredom written on their face of doing more of the same. I had to only direct that energy. There was a doubt as to you need a sanction. You may be a big GM, you can spend a lot of money, but you do need the sanction of the ministry. I said, I'll get it. What's the problem? But I was foolhardy. Negativity, cynicism, this and that. This will stop imports. बना भी नहीं पाएंगे और import भी नहीं करने देंगे. All kinds of questions. That's where brings a very prime equation, ladies and gentlemen, is pride and vanity. Pride makes you confident. Pride does not let you belittle anyone. Pride makes you love people. Vanity, you are not confident. You try to belittle others. All it was a matter of falling at the feet of the chairman railway board to get this sanction, which only killed my vanity but enhanced my pride. Somebody will kill your vanity some days. Better you kill it yourself today. And I got the sanction. I come back and I'm told that 200 crores spent down, and if the train doesn't work, first time ab initio work is being done. I said, this old man is going to retire, what will they do to an old retired man? I will take the blame, but if we succeed, you would have given to the country, which you will bask in that glory all your life. So the bard has already said, I'm not going to repeat it, but गिरते हैं शह सवार ही मैदान जंग में वो तिफ्ल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले. It's all about attempting. Failures are a part of life. You cannot succeed without failures. To be afraid of failures is to killing your chances of success. As I told you, it will be our own, designed by us. Little bit of gaps. Realize what you don't know. Be a witty fool. Engage consultants. And I'm so happy I met Mr. Srivastav here. There were a couple of areas where we thought we needed hand-holding. And I'm going to take up with him to develop that consultancy, design consultancy expertise in the country, where we did go to these consultants, because not knowing something is not shameful. Pretending to know everything is. It's okay to say, I don't know. They have no stake in future supplies. They have only stake in making a design for you. They are not a technology transfer arrangement. And it would cost you nothing, with only one caveat, that every line that you draw, every word that you write, you will sit with our people and do it, so that next time round, when they want to make a 220 kilometers train instead of 180, they will be able to do it themselves. Last thing before I conclude, everyone said it takes about 36 to 42 months to do a project of this magnitude from consult to delivery. You will retire in December, that's 21 months away. What if the next leader abandons the project? Manufacture would not have started. That's when I said, our mind may still not be there, but we can still work like donkeys. We will do what has never been done earlier. We will turn out this train in calendar year 2018, and to remind everyone, we will give it a name, and that name was Train 18. To cut a long story short, the hard work of people of Chennai and the factory, it was finally unveiled in October of 2018, in exactly 18 months from the start, living up to its name once again. was launched after necessary testing at 180 kilometers plus, was launched by the Prime Minister himself as the Vande Bharat Express in February of 2019. Two more were inaugurated yesterday. There are 10 in service now. Not one failure, not one cancellation, except one which you see, but a record far, far better than Six Sigma. And two things here. So this was just a train. It was not, I'm so fortunate to share space with Dr. Annadurai here. It was not Chandrayaan or Mangalyaan or a missile or a rocket. Why did it get so much love from people? Just a train. Answer perhaps is that people do realize, thanks to media and all the blitz that they created about the looks of the train and the speed, that it was a product all India could be proud of as something made by Indians for India. And it's sheer joy for me to relive that story which you afford me, because Joy's soul was basically in the doing, but I'm able to relive it. And I conclude by saying, ladies and gentlemen, that especially to the young India, all of you are going to be leaders, irrespective of how many people you work with. You will be dealing with human beings, so you are a leader. A million such projects are possible in this country. All it needs is leadership with empathy, passion, and a sense of purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mani, for your insightful sharing. I never thought I'd hear a love story on this dais from a man who made Vande Bharat trains. This is a love story of a different kind. Probably only the engineers can tell love stories with metals and a heavy metal of a different kind. Next week, we are all approaching the V-Day, and I thought I heard the best love story here. Thank you so much for engaging us, sharing your journey with us, and telling us that हमको मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत, लेकिन दिल खुश रखने गालिब ये ख्याल अच्छा है. Thank you so much, sir. The first ever Illuminate's keynote speaker, Padma Shri, Dr. Mylswamy Annadurai, is popular by the name the Moon Man. He was born on July 2nd, 1958, Kottavadi, Tamil Nadu, and studied to be an Indian aerospace engineer who held a number of posts with the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, including the directorship and also of the UR Rao Satellite Center, formerly known as the ISRO Satellite Center. Following his early education in his native village, Dr. Annadurai earned a bachelor's degree in engineering from the Government College of Engineering in Coimbatore. He was later awarded honorary doctorates from several universities and was the recipient of numerous awards. He served as spacecraft operations manager for the IRS-1A, IRS-1B, INSAT-2A, and INSAT-2B satellite programs. He then held the post of deputy project director prior to being promoted to mission director of the INSAT-2C program and of the INSAT-2D, 2E, 3B, 3E, and GSAT programs. During his 36 years of service in ISRO, he had many contributions, including two of the major missions of ISRO, namely Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan. Annadurai has been listed among 100 global thinkers of 2014 and topped the innovators list. As the project director of the IRS and small satellite system schemes, Annadurai led 5 projects. His most mainly publicized post was serving as a program director of the Mars Orbiter mission, MOM, which was which was launched in November 2013 and entered Mars orbit in September 2014. ISRO thereby became the 4th space agency after NASA, the Russian Federal Space Agency, and the European Space Agency to launch a successful Mars mission. In addition to performing his research and administrative duties, Dr. Annadurai is also a writer. He writes in popular newspapers. He writes a popular science column for the Tamil newspaper, Kungamam, and has delivered lectures on science in an effort to get the young Indians interested in taking up scientific careers. I now request our tech team to show us a small video of Dr. Annadurai.
Hi, I am Dr. Mylswamy Annadurai, worked in ISRO for nearly 40 years in the various satellite missions, be it remote sensing, communication, meteorological, navigation, as well as science and planetary missions like Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan, mission to Moon and Mars. Meeting very many challenges, converting the challenges into opportunities to showcase what we are capable of. Yes, at macro level there is a challenge of very shortest time period of 18 months to release the hardware to make the mission Mars and to be launched from using the PSLV launch vehicle, but we injected the satellite from the west coast of Latin America, which is not our terrain. But still, how we made it?
Much. Ladies and gentlemen, of the 5 elements of nature, we have 2 elements right here. One is the earth and one is the sky and beyond. We are in August company and I welcome Dr. Annadurai to share his experience.
Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to talk with the Indian Odyssey to the Moon after hearing a very scintillating lecture by Mani about Vande Bharat Express. And our effort is to make possibility of someone from here or your youngsters to make Vande Bharat rain in the Moon or Mars also. Possibly this may lead to that. Yeah, while I'm talking the subsequent 20 minutes, it is on behalf of the large number of my colleagues and their family members, as rightly put it, because the human resource is not only the colleagues with me, their family members also definitely supported to them, and that's how today I'm standing here. When I talk about me, and it is part and parcel of this bigger colleagues, larger numbers, who part and parcel of the spread of the whole of India in various domains. Now, just to touch upon, we have, when we started the ISRO's mission, ISRO was a very modest beginning. This view graph will be able to tell you, wherein the very modest launch stages being done there. And one of the two, one of the person sitting here is none other than Dr. Kalam. Okay? And that's how the modest beginning started. And even the satellites taken in the bullock cart, and while taking there, the mission, overall, the visionary statement made by founding father of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, we have no fantasy go to the moon or compete with the economically advanced nations. Still, if we have to serve the people with the technology driven, we should be second to none. Okay? They may look like no fantasy go to the moon, now we have gone to the moon. And how that connects with the technology for the common man, I think that's how the whole of my lecture will come, though the beginning was very modest. This talks about my journey into the ISRO, just few weeks of joining into ISRO, none other than me, Mylswamy Annadurai only. And yes, the concern, yes, Mr. Mani has told, a big concern I raised. I have so much of expectations and dreams when joining ISRO. But within ISRO, when I joined, it was the very industrial sets, a very small sets in the Pune sets of Bangalore, and doing the very tiny systems. And mostly the satellites are done by elsewhere, launched by somebody else. And our work that time was to look after the telemetry data to coming, decipher what does it mean, and go as per the operation manual written and given by somebody else. I think this, I was feeling it is so frustrating, and this is my big concern. Then he has thrown upon to be a small influencing thing whether you can do, as Mani has told. And that is, I told when, yes, it will take some more time to come out with the satellites and launch vehicle. Is it possible for us to come out with the software satellite simulator, how the satellite will look like, so that we will get familiarized? That will help even the operating somebody's satellites also may help us. Then Professor Rao thrown upon to me, yes, what you are telling is correct. With a matter of 3 days, my proposal, idea given versus this, the government of India organization, Professor Rao has given, yes, your idea is good, provided if you are ready to take the responsibility and do it. Yes, I took it there. That's why I'm standing today. And that, of course, it took nearly 4 years to understand, because to translate the satellite system which you are putting into the space and into the software form and try to mimic to the spacecraft control center as if it's satellite, it took long time. Okay, but that is calls for unlearn what I have learned, relearn what is required for. Though I being trained as electronics engineer, aerospace basically came as a part of this 4 years of this understanding of that. Then they translated, and the first ever software satellite simulator was done in 80s. Believe me, this is one of the reasons today India repeatedly make the missions with the very, very conscious price, schedule, and able to make mission like mission Mangal or mission to the Chandrayaan we are able to do. I think this is playing a reasonably good role even today. In the process, me also got developed. You would have seen that the long grown beard versus today what I am standing here, I also got changed in the process of this happening. This is what happened. Then after the 4 years of this, I had an opportunity, because by the time, yes, I learned reasonably good computers, softwares, and then firmwares, things like that. And I can stick to these computers, be in ISRO or go out. Possibility exists in Bangalore, and or being a spacecraft mission. That means in the hardware also beyond your software simulator, is it possible for you to make the satellites? That is another opportunity available. So I took the opportunity for go to the left side. That landed me to give a good number of satellites to be done basically back in ISRO Bangalore itself. So satellite building, beyond that mission operation. To start with, they started with mission operation. Now, over the years, our satellites, it goes. And after going over there, small hitches will be there. But instead of elsewhere, possibly people could abandon. But that time and again, we have to see to that satellites are corrected and working back to the earth for its life is concerned. In the process, I got more and more specialized, been known across the satellite operators, one of the known experts across the globe. If satellite, some problem is coming, this man possibly will be able to attend to that. I think that's the overall years it has, that expertise also came together. Come back. Recently, whatever NASA has given Artemis mission, something like that. Go up to the moon and come back. Or yes, 275 kg satellite, which will go around, so 140 kg satellite go around the moon. If all goes well, it could be reality as written there. It will happen in 2008. Okay, this is what, just a germinating of an idea. Okay, but ideation without execution is illusion. Correct, no? So, for that, how to execute? I think they identified a person who started with why cannot do like that. Now he has been called, and is it possible for you to do? But by the time, nearly more than half a dozen missions in terms of remote sensing communication, I was part and parcel of that. That is one of the reasons why it was given to be interested to be for this particular thing. Just fast forward, this view graph will tell what was my position there and how it has given to me at that point of time. Audio? Audio not coming. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So that talks about a person who could not talk in English that time. Still, in spite of that, he was given because of, even though he could not talk English, he could not talk, but his deeds were talking within the ISRO. So why can't we give to him the opportunity? I think that's something like that it talks about there. Yeah, luckily today voice again is not coming. Yeah, but as I told, ideation without execution is a delusion. Execution without planning is going to be disastrous. Okay, and this is how the planning point of view. Yeah, this is a macro schedule, overall point of view. Given T0 proposal is accepted, we are telling about before T0 plus 5. That means 4 years we'll be able to do that. Accordingly, the schedule was given, including a schedule margin. Okay, and now you look at here, April 4 is a time where I was designated as a project director. From April 4 of project director of 2004, April 4. From 99, the 2000 to 2004, a lot of deliberations, various forums. Finally, policymakers accepting that. Then Prime Minister of India declaring its national mission, Chandrayaan, in 2003, August 15th. But finally, the project approval and budget given and project team formed April 4th. Then we set the time frame. We should launch before April 2009. We launched October 2008. That's what happened there. Yeah, but even then, it is not just a mission as we originally told. It is not just a mission, 140 kg mission, not around the moon. It is a slightly better mission because we, around that time frame, it was 69th mission go to the moon. We should not be also run case. We should do something better, something different from others. What we should do? So we redefined the mission configuration such that it should be a polar mission. The polar mission carrying the state-of-the-art remote sensing instruments will be able to tell each and every part of the moon what moon contains. If you do that way, there are the areas where even though 70 missions have gone to the moon, there are areas which are unexplored the moon, especially polar regions. That means in this mode, if you do, we can do many things. So that way, we worked out the mission configuration, and accordingly, you look at the spacecraft configuration has worked out, reasonably modest spacecraft. But while doing it here, then there is a gap areas we would identify. If tomorrow something we discover, for us to confirm somebody else, is it possible for us to carry somebody else along with us also? So that way, we brought out another concept, announcement of opportunity. Some other countries, some other laboratories within India or outside India that can be part and parcel of the mission, who can supplement and complement our mission objective of the overall mission being, overall moon being remote sensing. So a good number of instruments came, around 26 instruments outside India came. We selected the five of them. And this was giving a strong Indian collaboration in all experiments, along with the like that we have done, leading beyond the frontiers. Like that, a good number of things, and satellite configuration got changed. And then finally, the satellite configuration with that, we came out and made a presentation to the international fora, wherein by the time, good number of international people also were part and parcel of that. Everybody appreciated, yes, the project will be able to unambiguously tell what moon contains, whether the discovered water content is not there being told, is it correct, without going through all the places. So this will tell the whole moon we will be able to explore, we will be able to tell any answer unambiguously. But still, Kalam was the president of India at that time. He was part of one of the spectators there. And he told, yes, everything is fine, but still you are falling short something else. That means, what does it mean, sir? So he told, you are going around the moon 100 kilometers, but you are falling short 100 kilometers. Is it possible to make the presence of Indian flag on the moon? I think this thrown open a totally different ball game for our, I think, technical point of view. It calls for lot of iteration, because we have accepted good number of instruments from outside, our own instrument, all put together. The satellite configuration need to be reworked, keeping the overall constraint of within the PSL we launch capability, budget should remain same, schedule should remain same within 2008 we should launch, and putting all the things together, various iterative way we worked out the satellite configuration. Finally, the satellite configuration come like this. And for this design alone, this satellite got 2 international awards. Okay, but this is an award. Before even going out in the drawing board itself, I think we got the award. And under this time frame, you look at here, ISRO being the leading the team, but we are host of instruments, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, NASA, then European Space Agency, Max Planck Institute, Rutherford Appleton Laboratory, Surrey Institute, like that, JAXA from Japan. Except 2 of our neighbors, almost all the spacefaring nations, part and parcel of our mission. Okay, this is what happened there. Only thing is we are giving an opportunity for them, the mission being a whole and full hours. Okay, and then this translates into huge number of people. Okay, that means the human resources are there, but the human resources are spread across length and breadth of India, across the globe also. You can see the dots, how it's there. If you're connecting these dots, number of people are more, but the challenges also multiplying. Correct, no? The challenges multiplying in terms of the technical, managerial, scientific, logistic, you name it, everything is there. Okay, just your geographical locations are different when you're talking about 2004. Okay, and the time differences makes a difference. And the working cultures across the industries are different. Within ISRO laboratories also different, and within the NASA laboratories are different. We have to make inter-organization collaborations to do. It's a really big thing. For example, varying interface, engineering units, what we talk about, what Europe talks, what Japanese talks, what the French talks is different. Mechanical mass, within that mass and volume, FOV constraints, excess, anything for reusability point of view, many things you have to see there. Electrical, how to telemetry, telecommand, their conversions, protocols, volumes, and varying standards, starting from RS-232C, customized interface to campus interface, you name it, I think everyone comes with that. So he is coming with this interface, we must be able to accommodate. It calls for host of changes, but still, post-launch, we must be able to data processing we should do, and we should coordinate the thing, and we should have a combined science has to come. So this throws open to a lot of volumes of challenges, not challenges, it's opportunities to showcase what Indians can do. I think that's what mentality we have taken. And this encapsulates how we have done that, starting from the instrument selection. 26 instruments came, how we selected 5 instruments, and how we arrived at a system, and finally how interface control documents for each one of them come out. Though interface control document comes, it also, you know that the changes will come. The change request, now change request is not going to affect the satellite to that instrument alone, it will affect the side effect to other instruments also. Okay, it is a really a big thing. So planning purpose, we have done first year, second year, third year. In between columns, one more jiggery has come, that has also been accommodated, all put together. We spent nearly 4 years for that. Metal cutting started in the 4th year end. Okay, and after metal cutting, no looking back, because what all we have done is almost we have done it exactly. Okay, lot of iterations, but finally metal cutting, launch, go for the mission. This calls for not only the satellite to be done, launch system also to be corrected. Not only that, ground system is totally different ground system. Until then, we have not gone beyond INSAT mission, which is 36,000 kilometers away. You know, the square of the distance, complexity of the communication varies, increases, correct? Now we are talking about nearly 10 times more range. So that amounts to call for ground system and as well as the satellite system also to be accounted for that. And towards it, I think LTTS and ISRO work together, 32-meter antenna, one of the largest around that time frame. When in Asia is concerned, the deep space network, on the way to Mysore only. In Bailalu, I think we had that ground system also came up. And all put together, 5th year, science we started deriving, and the 5th year and plus 3 months, we discovered water on the moon also. Okay, that's what had happened to that. How we have done, just for ICD alone I am telling, because this we are talking about 2004 to 2005 time frame. Because keeping the budget in play, we cannot keep going around. How an ICD document alone, how we arrived at, okay, across the things, various iterative things, the various streams for the foreign teams alone, setting our time, working for them. That means the first time, other teams are working, following our official time. Okay, I think it has a lot more meaning when I'm talking about here. Then accordingly, ICD updates, interface control documents update, mechanical, operational, electrical, things have been updated. And it was gone through the various reviews, systematic reviews, configuration review, preliminary design review, critical design review. Then go for the mission, 2006 to 7, go for the mission, metal getting started. Then the instruments came, then the payload, pre-shipment reviews, each place is done, everything is okay, then move to the Bangalore. Then at the spacecraft level, all integration done, as pre-shipment review, go for the launch vehicle also getting ready. Parallelly, as I told, the ground system also getting ready. All put together, it calls for the science data center, first ever time in India, and mission plans there. Ground data systems also readiness, all put together. I think 2008 we launched. The way in which you have gone to the moon also totally different from what people have done, because the PSLV cannot go directly towards the moon. So we have to incrementally improve upon that. So our ingenious way of realizing this mission. So it puts only 22,000 kilometers away from Earth. From there, the satellite propulsion, we keep nurturing it using its own slingshot effect and go to the moon and come and accordingly come down. And after reaching over the moon, Kalam told you cannot stop there. So we kept another 35 kg instrument. So that was pushed out of the mother probe, and that is keep falling towards the lunar surface. While falling, that itself having another 3 instruments. One is imaging camera, where I am falling we can locate, so that the polar side we are able to, first time, polar side itself we have gone along with the tricolor flag. It has a mass spectrometer, Tenu's mass spectrometer. Everybody laughed. Moon is not having atmosphere. The mass spectrometer is trying to understand what atmosphere contains. Okay, but this instrument, believe me, when it started falling, 70th kilometer onwards, it started showing a mass number of 18. Okay, mass number of 18. Mass number 1 is hydrogen. Mass number 16 is oxygen. 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, H2O, mass number 18. That means in the so-called tenuous atmosphere, which during the daytime of the moon, there are no totally different postulate. Post-Chandrayaan has come, beyond even discovery. So this water is being seen in this tenuous atmosphere. That means the water should be there at the surface. The subsequent instruments were trying to see about this, whatever we have seen. That's how the lunar water map has come. Okay, you look at the places where the blue is there, is the water. We have found out the water, hydroxyl molecule as well as the water. And that place wherever I'm showing is looking into the top, looking into the poles. We are seeing permanently dark regions. That means the moon is being there, sunlight is getting there. There are very craters which goes deep into a few kilometers. And those places, sun is not seen there. There the frozen ice also you have seen there. So now you look at here, we first time when we're discovering water on the moon and being declared to the world, I think India is leading the front. We can see it, that's what's happening here. That's the story of Chandrayaan, okay? But it has given a lot more story, lot more learning for us. The giving a innovative project management. How we has done this project management is beyond discovery is only one part of the story. But beyond that, for me as an engineer, it has given me a lot more learning. The quantum jump in system engineering project management, in spite of being Government of India organization, we can do across the laboratories. We can do reasonably well in the logistic management. We can coordinate everything, and we can make a very, very more than 99% to be stuck into the interface control document. And that, with the metal cutting when you are going, yes, everything is okay. Everything is done. Never, ever in the aerospace industry, somebody has done a single model, okay, and flying to the moon and succeeding, never, ever, nobody has done. I think that we have done. It talks volumes and volumes of what has happened to that. So this putting together is a team building. It's not only within your house, okay, not only within your village, not only within your country. I think India has shown the world we can build the team. International people also can be feel and part and parcel of this mission. I think that is the thing we have taken there, and that has given. We struggled 4 years to get the government's approval for Chandrayaan-1 mission. Believe me, it was just a matter of 4 weeks to get approval for Chandrayaan-2, thanks to what we had done with Chandrayaan-1. Yes, it opened up various possibilities. That means now good number of infrastructure coming. With the infrastructure, concurrently we are want to make so many satellites. 20 satellites simultaneously can be integrated within our organization. So many things point of view. The flow of the many things, supply chain has been arrived at using industry. L&T also part and parcel of that. So very many things we have put together. Putting the things together, one such mission being MOM among 20. Okay, we don't think we worked only for MOM for 14 months. No, it was competing, like as I told, it was compete with any other mission to realize this MOM. So that's how we have done it here. So this mission has to be launched November of 2013 to reach 2014 September. Timeline is scheduled. The requirement is for this is different. Each one requirements are different. Here the topmost requirement is it has to be launched that day only, not even the month. Okay, this is competing with Vande Bharat Express. Yeah. So then, how it can be done? Actually, I made a presentation. The same PSLV, the same Chandrayaan type of configuration, a slightly more incremental effort will be able to reach us for us to go to the Mars. I think that's what we want to do. So, and we have the good number of, yes, I told again, what is the overall plan of the schedule have been worked out. Similar thing, whatever in Chandrayaan, this learning comes here. And this time, we have broken the systems into very smaller systems, such that satellite somebody makes, launch vehicle somebody does, payloads meant for this coming there, launch services somebody, ground system is like that. Various project directors have been identified, this program to project. So each one is more like a jigsaw puzzle to do that, but finally it has to come. As I told, unambiguously we arrived at the interface control documents, configuration management we have done. So we are confident this can be done, provided if it is done like that. And critical system identified, schedule is the topmost, it has to happen that day. So accordingly, many other systems also have been realized there. And the instruments going over there, atmospheric study, plasma study, that also has been done there. So accordingly, we want to work it out here. Many of the standard hardwares can be configured to make the mission with a very minimal configuration corrections can be done. Software also, reusability of the software has been seen. And what can be done, en route to the moon, during 9 months route to the moon also, where something can be done. With that, we are 21st September 2012, The first hardware, the structure which is sitting at the skeleton of that, it's coming from HIL. Subsequently, 5th November of 2013, we could launch the mission. And just 2 minutes of the video will tell you how we have gone to the this. Yeah, no, leave it. It is more like Chandrayaan-1, okay, to start with. But only thing is, final nudge will be given slightly more incremental velocity. That velocity will take you all the way to the Mars without spending the fuel. That's how we could catch with the lesser than the auto price how we reach the Mars. This meaning is basically that, yeah, look at from here, around the sun, this I told my simulator at the first of my view graph. The simulator helps here, back here, okay, in this mission also. Now you look at here, around the sun, our Earth goes without fuel, Mars goes without fuel, all planetary systems goes without fuel. India made Mangalyaan also goes without the fuel, okay. When it goes like that, during that 9 months, we keep watching where it's supposed to be, where it is now. If it is there, a small correction to be called for. So very, very attentively we are doing it. So that, subsequently, when finally when reaches just 500 kilometers above Mars, when Prime Minister of India is standing behind, when we acquired the mission autonomously to reduce the velocity acquired, India has become first ever country to succeed this in first attempt. I think that's what happened to that. Yeah, this, as I told here, whatever I learned from there, similarly, programmatic and standardized approach for satellite project management. Gone are the days spacecraft will be crafted, spacecraft can be made, spacecraft can be produced. I think that's what we have done there. This calls for also. You look at here, 1982 I joined. So from that number of missions, what we have done versus afterwards, good number of human resources came, but it's stagnant. Okay, being Government of India organization, there is a restriction, you cannot recruitment being stopped there. Within that, but still number of missions are keep increasing. Post Chandrayaan, there is an exponential growth. You can see that exponential growth. And that calls for a paradigm shift of how to make the mission. And this talks about how pre-MOM versus post-MOM, what the learning we have done. Accordingly, project-oriented ecosystem to project-oriented ecosystem, a video which I am not playing it now, but talks about need for a production-friendly ecosystem. Okay, and that also has been done there. That's what happened there. That translates into where we started versus where is today ISRO. Okay, this makes a total difference change because that we have given the lethal power for Chandrayaan Mangalyaan missions has given a bargaining power for ISRO to get this infrastructure done. And today we could get many things here. Now you look at here the exponential change after Chandrayaan. Now not only we are making satellites for our own, we are leading the world in some of the areas like remote sensing. We are the forefront in that, like anybody else. Okay, and similarly putting the smaller satellites in the launch, whichever the orbit we are looking for, strategically whichever the orbit they are looking for, we are able to do that. Even yesterday's launch also successful with another small satellite launch vehicle with the foreign instruments also being launched there. So very many things keep happening. Today we are training every year 30 countries to showcase what India is capable of, to showcase what spacecraft systems are capable of, opening it up here, a market for the private industries to come. That way only today, and ecosystem is being opened to the private industry for a spare capacity they can be used. All put together, today, Indian Space Program is not alone from ISRO. It is the Indian Space Program is much wider. This can serve to the, like our automobile industry, it can come here. That means humble beginning start with. Now the frontliner in the world, good infrastructure, more than 100 satellites for national use, more than 360 satellites launched for 34 countries today. This count is keep increasing day by day. While doing, I think the human resource development also, we have our own industry we have done. And if you allow me 2 minutes, can I run one video? Because this has something interesting, which I felt, which today I'm into the part of that thing, because human resource, we have to not only bring the people inside and develop, I think we can start from the schools. Okay, we have to start from the school. There is an urgency because today Indian space industry is coming up, but when I look at the human resources, what is there in China versus India, we are nowhere near. Okay, multiplier of 10 is sitting in between. How to do it? How to make it faster? I think we have to start working from the school today. I think that's good. I started yesterday, but at least let us do it today. This I am working with the American India Foundation. I think there is a possibility I can work with LNT also. LNT also is a part of
Digital
American.
Equalizer from the year 2008 in Tamil Nadu. At present, we are reaching out to 405 schools, 1,37,850 students and 3,556 teachers. STEM Innovation Learning Center. This is the country's first center with unique facility catering to the needs of the students and teachers with a value of INR 20 lakhs. This center will be a one-stop solution for STEM among students and teachers. The silk setup is done under the scheme Vande Bharat at the Government Higher Secondary School MMDA Colony. The school will be supported for 3 years by American India Foundation. Technology Corner for Teachers. It accommodates a smart lab setup with an internet connection to facilitate teachers to conduct techno-pedagogy enabled classes for their students as well as receive training on the digital equalizer way of teaching, that is DWAT, a unique method developed by AIF to address all types of learners in the classroom. Science and math models and exhibits displayed are aligned with the state syllabus, enlightening and engaging the young minds. Innovation Corner for Students. It is the center's art which introduce students to a transdisciplinary learning approach through robotics, AI, space technology kits and the STEM incubation workstation. It creates curiosity in advanced STEM courses while also assisting them in developing their innovative ideas into prototypes, creating a platform to take part in state, national or international level competitions. Apart from this, the students will get technical guidance in designing their prototypes from experts and also guidance for their careers in space technology and STEM areas. Studio setup. Assist teachers in creating high quality VE edu reels, an idea conceptualized to bring about a revolution in education by creating reels about the subject's important definitions and basic concept as well as for exams such as NEET and NMMS. Drone Satellite Launch Vehicle DSLV mission. In order to create a platform for students to learn about drone and aviation technology, AIF flagship program Digital Equalizer has introduced a drone satellite launch vehicle DSLV mission in which 200 students from 12 schools were selected and are being trained to assemble a drone and Pico satellite which will be launched. This is the first such mission being done in Tamil Nadu under the mentorship of the Moon Man of India, Padma Shri Dr. Mylswamy Annadurai, former Director ISRO, Vice President of Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology.
Yeah, in the process area of writing some few books also. Yeah, that means creating a technology advanced country. That's what we are supposed to do and we are doing it. And the journey to continue, we require innovation, teamwork, partnership and collaborations. Let us move forward towards this. Alone, we can do so little. Whatever Mani and myself has done, I think it's small little. Lot more can be done. I think let us together, we can do so much. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Annadurai, for sharing. That was about technology, innovation, social responsibility, and future thinking. You are indeed an epitome of grace and humanity in yourself. Thank you for your time, Padma Shri, Dr. Annadurai. while we set the stage for the most coveted part of the event, which is the panel discussion with our dignitaries, where we get more insights. I'm sure all of you here have many questions that are cropping up in your minds that you need to ask our dignitaries. Just hold on while we have the panel discussion. At the end of the panel discussion, we will also send our volunteers across who will go around with the mics, and you will have the opportunity to ask questions. While we say this, we will, for our online presence, for the people that are watching us, watching Illuminate online, there's also an instruction. We are going to take your questions, so please don't feel let down that there's only physical presence of the questions here. We will take your questions also, so please send them across. There's somebody who's curating the online questions, and we will try to get them answered by our dignitaries, should the time allow us. We will be having a short discussion with the dignitaries, and we will also take questions from as many of you as possible. Should you not get the opportunity to ask your questions, please connect with our dignitaries on their social media accounts or online presence. Please write to them. Please feel free to write to them. We want Illuminate to go beyond the physical boundaries of this hall. And thank you so much for your presence. And as we can see, the hall is almost full. And as we go into the main part of the event, I now invite our guests, Mr. Sudhanshu Mani and Dr. Annadurai, along with the Chief Delivery Officer, LTTS, Mr. Shailendra Srivastava, who will take us through a percipient discussion along with our dignitaries. Thank you so much. Please, can we have more participation? I think we're all either stunned by the knowledge or... Thank you so much. Let's say we are present. Thank you.
Go. So, greetings and welcome to this panel discussion. My name is Shailendra Srivastava. I'm the Chief Delivery Officer in L&T Technology Services. And it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome all of you to this event, especially with such panelists who had played a critical role. And I think most of you being engineers, I think having some engineers like this really gives us a boost, right? So while listening to all of you, especially when Sri Mani was talking, he talked a lot about love, right? And Preeti really put it right, that love with the metals and cuttings and people. So it was a different aspect altogether with what we look at as love. Loving our job, loving the people we work with. So really interesting view of how we can, and again, your comment about encouraging people, empowering them, bringing, that's really what we see is required for us to learn as leaders on how we can be successful. And so for you, I think these are complex programs which are launched. And critical part, what he made right in the beginning, is if you don't plan it right, it is difficult to achieve what is looking for. And I think as you ended, you came closer to collaborating with people. I think that's next thing which we generally look at is how we can involve more and more people to make our life simpler by distributing the work and delivering. So excellent inputs on that. Taking the challenges, making it into opportunities, and making it a success, that has been the forte of these two gentlemen. They have really taken the challenges and made it a great success. Be it moon missions or be it Vande Bharat Express, because I know I worked with some railway companies and I know what challenges come when we work on some of these areas. So
Our conversation will be centered around driven by purpose, powered by technology. So we'll ask them certain questions on how they've been able to achieve what you do. So I'll go with you, Doctor, first. Before I go, I was watching you deliver the speech. You said you have 40 plus years of experience. Your age still looks 40. And as when you stood there, you were looking so young. What's the reason behind it?
No, that probably, whatever Ms. Mani has told, is a love. Love starts from the life, home. So my loving wife is also here, and she takes care of.
Oh, that's also interesting to see me helping you. Good.
So another thing is, if you love the life, I think that there is no feel of feeling old. Okay, feeling young makes you young.
Absolutely.
I think that's what
Thanks. Sir. I understand the Chandrayaan-2 was to land at the high altitude of the moon, right? So there would have been challenges, and I think most of the satellites roam horizontally, and you decided to take it vertically. There would have been certain challenges. What was that one or two critical challenges which gave you, it didn't allow you to sleep?
Yeah, because the idea is good, everybody appreciated. But the idea is very, very challenging, everyone told. Experienced people also told, because just to assume the moon here, you have to travel like here, and the pole means you have to go at that point only. You have to go around like this only. If you are going that way, you can go around few hundreds of kilometers away here also, makes no difference. Here means you have to go at that only. That means traveling 384,000 kilometers and reaching that point, the moon also not static. Moon also moving around. Absolutely. Okay, when it's going 1 kilometer per second, okay, yes. You have started much early, and your path also very times you are doing, and finally when you are taking it here, and you reach the moon which was coming like this, you go over there. It's a real challenge. Okay, that make it to happen. I think the Indians for the first time have done it, and that is the thing. It's a real challenge.
Excellent.
So that actually talks about volumes about what India is capable of. We are able to target a place 384,000 kilometers. That talks volume beyond discovery, beyond technology.
So a lot of predictions you would have done,
exactly.
Simulations, predictions.
Exactly. That is the more vital thing. So the planetary bodies, your movement and your system movement, it is not only the speed, direction, orientation, timing, everything has to match. So that's the real
Excellent.
challenge.
So Elon Musk talks about terraformation of Mars will be possible in next few decades or within our lifetime. So do you think people can live on moon and we can have some destination weddings attended on moon?
Okay, it's not only for this question. Basically, I was trying to advocate in the international fora. Now we have the space station for the ages, but the space stations also keep its age, and you have to take care how to manage the falling and how to make the new one. So now I'm advocating. Now we have discovered water on the moon, and there is a possibility of even agriculture possible. Many things are possible. That means why can't first step make International Lunar Space Station? That means a few humans can live as if they are living in space station. If you are able to do that, I think that would be good. And there is every possibility. Today, India and China is not a part of International Space Station. Future International Space Station without India and China cannot be international. Okay, so that I think the moon being is possible. So first step, we are able to make few astronauts living there. So that thing that will take the things there. I think we are already in the mode. Now the mission called Back to the Moon has been announced by NASA, and already first mission has with the Artemis it has gone and come back. And a few months from now, there will be another unmanned mission will go and land on the moon. That will follow it up another 3-4 years from now. I think initially a modest long-term people staying there, possibility there, then it can happen.
So one question, you talked about we were the first one to find water on the moon, right? Showing what you showed, if you would not have gone vertical, do you think we would have been able to trace water? Because people were only going horizontally and didn't find anything for several years.
I think the chances are remote. You're looking at this, I think that the vital thing is the way in which you have gone.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's what happened. Like Columbus wanted to come to India, he went the wrong direction. Okay. Similarly, the people have went the wrong direction to the moon. That's what I feel.
Good. So I think there's a possibility for us to be in the moon. And I think with the rapidly growing in the space agencies, we have been contributing to record after record on space programs, like 114 satellites in one go, 108 satellites in go. What does it actually mean for general people like us when we are successful in the space programs?
No, first and foremost, records is happening. It's not people are aiming for the records. Records happening because the PSLV capability, how much you can launch. So when putting together, this is what opportunity goes. That gives the commercial viability of the PSLV repeatedly we can do. And it shows the world, satellite, not only multiple satellite, different orbits, the same launch you can put. Things are that is one side. Second side is when not only these missions are commercially that's being available, we will able to make the low-cost remote sensing mission, meteorological missions, communication missions, and these missions navigational. So these missions are used back to the Earth, back to India in much better way. Our tele-education, telemedicine, even weather forecasting, and even for the navigation. Navigation today, the land, water, and sea. Today we are able to do that, and today the planes need not to fly touching the radar options. Even like crow flying, you can fly. So that makes financially fuel efficient thing. And you look at here today, all the financial institutions are connected through the satellites. So that way, our satellites today, I don't know how many people are going and drawing the salary in money from the cashier from the from ATM. I think India is having the largest number of ATMs in the world. More than 300,000 ATMs are there, thanks to our communication satellites. Okay, that way you can look at here. The 2,000 rupees notes you are not seeing now, but even then you are seeing, you will be seeing Mangalyaan there, indicating space is doing everywhere.
So I'm sure people are getting benefited, which we are not aware, like telemedicines and all this is surely going to help us in a longer. Like when you have to put the satellite into the next orbit, you always keep giving a boost, right? So I'm sure with your talk, what you had today, and the plans which you showed about how you want to, the young engineers here will surely get a boost to get into the next orbit of how they want to get into either space or something to do with, right? So thank you very much. Mr. Mani, for you, before I start, I was reviewing your LinkedIn profile, and there was a very interesting topic, an indecisive Indian, that came as a part of. Interesting to know what is that about, and how do you think indecisive Indian is there?
Yeah, okay. So I'm not meaning any disrespect here as a part of the government, but one of the bane of our government, babudam, if I can call it, is indecisiveness, procrastination, because there is a little bit of risk or quite a bit of risk in deciding, whereas there's not much harm coming way in not deciding. So it, in a way, is like a reality check as a government babu. That's what you represent today. And that's why I called it the indecisive Indian. But then to write in that blog, hopefully with some clarity and cogently as to what should be done about the issues, especially railway issues facing the country.
Thank you very much for that. I got an opportunity about 20 years back to work with somebody who was manufacturing locos, and that time the maximum speed was 80-90 kilometers per hour, and they used to come to us and we used to discuss how to take it to 120 and others, and there are several challenges which were there. Now, you have designed a train which runs at 150, 180 kilometers per hour. I know it would not have been easy. So what were the challenges you had? I know some of the challenges you talked about on the approvals and how we take, but engineering wise, what were the challenges? Mechanical, software, I know taking turn at that speed, you have to have balancing to be done appropriately. Several challenges, but what was one which was very difficult for you?
All right, so to start with the first part of your question, so the speed of a vehicle on track is a function of the bogie which carries the vehicle, bogie's design, including the suspension, the track itself, because it can have regularities or irregularities. There are two important things apart from other things in defining the speed of a vehicle is the lateral forces, which can cause a wheel to mount the rail and derail. And the other is the ride comfort. It may not derail, but does it give is the ride comfortable enough? Not only for passengers, but also for other freight trains. It should be within some defined parameters. Unfortunately, there is no such thing, at least in India, which is called railway engineering. So it's mechanical engineering, electrical engineering related to a train, or civil engineering related to a track. So there is a unfortunate lack of trust between these wings, and there is always a feeling that the track parameters are not going to be what is there on the paper. So we need to build in that extra safety while designing a train. And the track people would think that whatever is their declared parameters, starting from weight to suspension and other things, are also not exactly same when the manufacturing is serialized, so they try to build in their own safeguards. And in effect, what you do is you bring down the speed of something which is more capable of. But things have improved, particularly the software for simulation are much more powerful than they used to be, let's say, in 90s. And we are able to work to great accuracy. And in many projects, the improvements suggested by the simulation packages have actually been totally found to be absolutely the reason for, say, let's say, higher lateral force or higher, poorer ride comfort. So to that extent, the challenge was reduced from the time you were working on that locomotive design, and the tools available from abroad or now even in India are enough for committed design engineers to turn out a design which can meet the speed.
Yeah, obviously, I think the software tools are playing a major role now in predicting how it can do it, and I think
it's not a major role. It is absolutely the necessity.
Necessity, absolutely.
Because you cannot build a train and then not having done any simulation and then find surprises. So it's absolutely a must. A lot of it was done manually earlier. A lot of these calculations and so on was a very unending, very tedious process. But now the software packages have made it definitely easier, and it's something that you have to do with it. There is no way not to do.
So while we have come to the first semi-high-speed train, what do you see is required in India to engineer the true high-speed train, and by when do you think we will be able to do it?
So in a way we can, for young people here, refer to what Dr. Annadurai has said. While saying that it's not difficult or it's not impossible for us to design a high-speed train, but can we afford the luxury of long on research and tests and trial and spending a lot of money on infrastructure to test the train. It's not just at the train, you have to build a matching infra which can have that train. So the model the government has adopted is fine. It's against a very soft loan, but it's a loan all the same. We are paying for it. With Japanese JICA. What is missing to my mind, and it's a serious issue, I hope something is done about it, is we will have this Japanese built or Japanese assisted high speed and the train, but there is every risk that only screwdriver technology would be passed on to us. That technology providers sitting on a pedestal and questioning you as to why you need to know certain things. That's the beginning. I've faced it so many times. The first question is, so you have this, you make it according to this. This is what you need. Why do you want to need? Why do you want to need as to why it was done like this? Without that, we should, if I had the authority, I would tell the Japanese, I will not have the train unless I'm spending 1 lakh crore plus.
Yes.
It may be against a loan, but it's my money.
Money going from us.
Unless your people sit with my people. Because next time I need a high-speed train, I may indulge in some consultancy, but I want to design it myself. There's a risk it's not going to happen.
So rather than just saying what to do, they also should why we should do that.
Without which you cannot design it.
It doesn't make sense to design.
You can replicate, but you cannot, because things change, circumstances change, infra changes, you have to make your own design suiting. So, yeah.
So while nice trains are there, I think let's talk about the economy of that, right? So against the common man's base level of train tickets, the express trains are costly and the high speed will be much more costlier. So how can one make semi-high speed train or which is accessible to the mass, the larger mass with the economy and with the type of people and incomes we have?
Yeah, okay. So I'll answer the question a little differently. As I said, Indian Railways cannot be ignored, but we must remember that railways, a rolling stock running on track, is 5 to 10 times more efficient, more green compared to roads and air. Yeah. Are we exploiting it or not fully? We have no option but to exploit it. So what do we need? I'll start with the vision or the dream first, and then the vision and the action plan. So the dream is $10 trillion economy, a developed country sometime. Okay, near developed country. If that is the thing we must believe in, then are you going to see people traveling like they do today, common men, in lower classes? Answer is emphatic no, because you don't see that anywhere in developed world. So you have to address that first. So how do we address it? Make your higher classes like Vande Bharat or improvements over it, 1,000 improvements are possible. Make them competitive or better than air and road. Attract people to travel at higher fare, even higher. You're saying it's affordable by common men or not? I said, make it higher, which people would pay. They are paying now. Yeah. Maybe more for novelty, little bit of cut down of travel time, full potential is not exploited, but trains are going full except 1 or 2. Earn revenue, use that to improve the lot of how you carry your common man. So one thing is to decide that all trains have to be air conditioned in India's climate. Except 1 or 2 coaches for some people who don't like AC. And everyone must travel sitting or standing, sitting or sleeping. Make this, and it's feasible. You may say they pay nothing. Yeah, so Bangalore to Mysore, whatever they pay, 1/3 the bus price or something like that. That's not the issue at all. The issue is charge them what they can afford. After all, India would be developed by then, right? So the paying power would increase. Common men, charge them whatever they can afford. But more importantly, carry them with dignity, not like the way you do today. So therein lies the solution, if you ask me.
Sure. So thank you for that. I haven't taken Vande Bharat yet. I hope next time I travel to Chennai, I take one, and I'll call you and tell you to give the feedback as well. So thank you very much for that. And before we close, a question to both of you. Any suggestions or any insights you would like to give to the engineers who are here, the budding engineers?
Yeah, so as my modified message, so people's president, he was a great man, of course. He said, what's a dream? It doesn't let you sleep. He didn't say that you do daydreaming. You don't daydream all the time. So I will repeat that. You must have a dream. Look after your life first. And then don't, as I said, don't let it vanish. Don't let it disappear. You will get an opportunity to realize it. And when you do, the joyous great soul would lie in doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks. Sir, anything from you?
Yeah, I go with as Mani told. But basically my understanding, the journey over being in India, being an Indian, and doing reasonably something noteworthy. Definitely this gives, today's India gives an ample opportunity. The opportunity is today definitely a lot more. We can do many things back here itself, and we can do many things for somebody also from here. So that way, I think whichever the field you choose, you can go. IT alone is not the only thing. We need the mechanical, we need civil, Absolutely. We need electrical, we need many more the people can do. So then again, I will complete with, as Mani told, quoting Kalam's another template. He tells your birth could have been an incident, but when you are going out of this world, it should be history. I want to modify that slightly. Not only, of course, many of us, our life could have been an incident, but our life itself should become a history. I think that should be a part and parcel of our thinking if you do. I think this country needs many such people.
Absolutely.
I think this country can accommodate many such people. And you and me can be part and parcel of that destination. I think you dream about that, I think that dream will take you to.
Absolutely. So we had been seeing the type of opportunities coming in all the areas, not only the space and train, but I think there's several opportunities across, and government pushing for the startups and Atmanirbhar. I'm sure we'll get more engineers from here to work and deliver to what is required by the nation.
Also, I just want to take
absolutely.
So since I have to take a flight from Bangalore, I'll be leaving it. I just want to convey a couple of things. First of all, it's been a great audience, very responsive, and I consider myself very fortunate that I was afforded this platform to speak to you today. I would have loved to interact with you, but I have to leave after 5-10 minutes. Another simple message is, so I have got, I think I did not deserve so much of appreciation and love. There was a great team, just like the picture Dr. Annadurai showed to you of entire ISRO. And at some stage when there was some negativity and go on, I'll not talk about it, I felt it was my duty to call out those names by name, and of course the story, but this was also an intention, so I wrote a book on the subject. It started with a blog which converted into a book, and it's called the My Train 18 Story. It's available on Amazon.
Absolutely.
I have no commercial interest in its sale. maybe the publisher has, but nevertheless, I also, as I said, very fortunate that I am sitting here with Dr. Annadurai, and I will, as a symbol, apart from the audience, as a takeaway for me, I would like to present a copy to Annadurai, Dr. Annadurai, and have somebody take a photograph.
Thank you. Thank you.
So before you go, we have a few questions. So just 5 more minutes. We have some questions coming from people here and online. So few of them will take up. So the first question.
Second,
Giving photograph, giving it to him. So.
Hello.
So I'll read few questions before we close. The first question is, a lot of talented youngsters leave the country in search of what they call better opportunities, often blaming it on flaws in our bureaucracy and systems. Do you think there's a lack of opportunity in our country?
This I already told, and I think we have an ample opportunity. I agree, but I cannot totally deny whatever he puts first. Okay, we have the issues. Okay, because still a colonial mindset. I feel it is there, but we have no other go. We can overcome also. There is no issues, but we have persistent efforts. I think we can overcome.
Sure.
But definitely we have an ample opportunity in India, at least at this point of time. This generation is given with an ample opportunity. I can see a lot more happening there. So
Thank you.
There is no need of blaming of that. Okay,
I think systems are also changing.
Systems also changing.
Government is
Systems also
changing things,
yeah.
so obviously. So we have another question here, sir.
Like G20, Year of Millet, thanks LTTS and NIE, wonderful combination. My name is Karunanidhi. I'm younger to Dr. Annadurai. My name Karunanidhi or Junior, and I am dwarf when compared to Mr. Mani, who is our neighbor. I am from Madras Medical College. He is from Southern Railway. So welcome to Mysore. Sir, your shoestring budget, I truly appreciate that. Even we, the healthcare professional, would borrow the transfer of technology from you because sometimes we overspend. Common cause, dignity is the common cause of population in this country is ill health. Not only healthcare industry, other PSU will also follow you so that India will achieve more and more on all other sides. Again, the question to our tall money is that, like Indian economy, Indian Railways has got one end jet engine, Vande Bharat, the other end is EMU trains, chugging like you said about dignity, and you also have a vision for porters. So whether we could afford a dignified travel for a common man who are the voters, who elect the government? And Mr. Mani, let me not flatter you, you are a big bonus for the forthcoming, the government as well as forthcoming government. All the best.
So, how can we have opportunity for dignified travel for the common man?
So
that's the question.
If I got your question right, I spoke about it, I will. It's not just dignity of travelers, it's dignity of every fellow Indian. So, since you talked about, I'll give you one example. I was a divisional railway manager in Bangalore. One of the pictures, now these are the things which stick in your mind, but you do something about it when you are in a position of authority. One thing that always stuck in my mind was when porters would carry 3 tiers of luggage and their necks would bend, and you'll have Mr. Sudhanshu Mani walking next to him and then haggling with him about the fare. Okay, some porters do charge you extra and so on. But that's the image you have, that you are haggling about 5, 10, 15 rupees with a porter who earns money merely by carrying something on his head. Now, is that a scene you would see in a developed country? No. So again, it's not a question of whether we are going to be developed and what will happen. It's a question is, yes, we are going to be developed and we are not going to see this.
Yes.
So what do? I tried to put in hand trolleys in Sikandrabad when I was ADRM. Those trolleys were broken by the porters. Just gave them tea, and I told them that I am bringing these trolleys, which would be yours. You will charge the same fare which you charge today, except that you will carry luggage in a dignified manner. It took some time because obviously trolleys have taken half their earnings, whatever be the background of their appointment and so on, but basically poor people living off carrying your load. But once they got convinced, so within months, and then after that I told, when I gave these trolleys and they belonged to them, I told the station superintendent that if I see any porter carrying load on his head, you're going to have it. So he was after this, he said it was unfair, but I said no, this is the only way. Now it's another matter that after I left, again things came back to normal. But these are the things which will change India. I caught a train, so I did it at Bangalore city, Bangalore Cant, Krishnarajpuram and Yashwantpur. Once I, imagine the goodness of people, so I was to take a train, I quietly came because I had retired. I had a small trolley which I was pulling. I wanted to catch a train, then suddenly one porter came and started taking it from me. So I said, okay, 100 rupees gone. I didn't need it, but... And then when the train came and he put the trolley inside, then I took out 100 rupees. And that porter said, no porter in Bangalore is going to take money from you. Now, same is about travel.
Absolutely.
First have empathy for these poor people. Don't look down upon them that they pay only 50 rupees to travel. This is the situation we have created for them. That's their earning. Their earning has to go up. We are becoming developed and we are going to provide them dignified, comfortable travel. May not be luxurious travel, but comfortable. That should be the aim, and then once you decide, it can happen.
Thanks.
Hello?
Oh, the question was that...
Hello, I have a question, sir, here.
Yeah, just hold on the...
Enough budget, by the way, if that was the question, yes, the government has given enough budget, much more than it used to be earlier. Only one needs to see that it is employed in a manner which is most remunerative, not only for the economy, which it is perhaps because it generates employment, growth, revenue for government, not for railways, but it should be remunerative for railways also, so it can improve.
Thanks.
Hello?
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. We'll have to move on. We'll have to take... go ahead, please. Who's online?
My question, sir, it's a pleasure to, listen to you today, sir. You really touched our heart and inspired us with all your dream and vision and mission. My question is, I've surround IC for no different from temples. So how we can participate, as a public or any common Indian and support ISRO and ICF programs like Chandrayaan-1 Mangalyaan missions, because I start feeling like it is going to touch every Indian and maybe even global and finally humanity. It's making a lot of difference. So how can we contribute to ISRO and ICF, in the future programs? Is there any account you can share with the public if they want to contribute money to some of your programs?
So if we understand your question is, how can general public also contribute in the ISRO and other programs which are there?
Vision and mission, yeah.
So,
okay, first and foremost, as I told the theme of my lecture is, today Indian space program is not confined to ISRO alone, today. That means it's opened it up, okay. So that means you have the ample opportunities to have that. And towards that, I know I myself good number of startups already coming up, the IITs and the colleges there. And there is every possibility you can be part and parcel of that effort. And beyond that, what is happening is, as I told now, there is definitely urgent need. For example, somebody wants to compare India versus China. The number of people who are working in the space industry is a huge number.
Yeah.
That number today, we are nowhere near that. So that pool has to come from there. So basically what I thought in the space equivalent to the technology educations in the schools also need to start. I think there definitely we can play a reasonably good role. How it can be taught, and that's how that when I talk about American India Foundation, it's only symbolically indicating NGOs how they can play a reasonably good role to cultivate the science and technology talents within the school. We have the chess academies, how it's helping. Now you know very, very young international grandmasters are coming from chess. Okay, thanks to it opened up nearly a decade back in schools. That's coming out. Similarly, in the many of athletics things, it's keep happening there. So is the case. I think if you are able to show in the schools a good number of places where they can be pruned and coming there, and there are various stages. Like now, for example, AIF will have one school level, another one is every district level we are planning a slightly better equipped system, wherein the people who have been identified, they can come and do and make the satellites which they can launch. I think you wait for February 19, there is every possibility. We are working for that. Rockets made by school students, satellites made by school students, not from single state, across India, around 5,000 students in collaborative made they do, and they are going to launch 150 satellites. Okay, these are all the symbolically it's happening there. So you can be part and parcel of that effort.
Hello.
So I think we'll have to stop. This was the last question. We're running out of time, or we already ran out of time. And we will have to stop, Sanjeev. Sorry,
Hello?
I'm so sorry about it. Because he has to travel back to Bangalore. So, but sir, thank you very much for the insightful discussion. And I'm sure many of us will
Sir,
get
quick question to Mr. Mani, sir. 1 second. Sir, can we have any alternate fuel other than diesel and electricity so that the environment can be saved for the train and so that people can start using the train services? And
Yes. So you see, so there are many, apart from electric and diesel, many things are being tried. You would have heard of lithium-ion battery, pure battery locomotives. You would have heard of LNG, CNG trains. They have not really succeeded that much for various reasons, but the thing which is coming strongly is the hydrogen fuel cell locomotives. But government has announced big policies for that, not only in railway environment, overall hydrogen production and green hydrogen mission and so on. For railways, I think it is a little bit after the horse has bolted, we are trying to close the stable. Why? Because right now Germany has 14 hydrogen trains running. These are all on non-electrified lines. Because once you electrify a line, running it with any other fuel is a wastage. So you have to run these trains on non-electrified lines, not spend money on electrification, and you go for a cleaner fuel like hydrogen. The government's mission today is to electrify all tracks very, very soon. We have reached almost 85% now. Very soon we'll be 100%. So this stress on hydrogen trains, to my mind, is a little misplaced unless you develop your own technology and then export. If you're doing it in collaboration with a foreign company, in export will never work out because I don't know how much IPR will be with you. So yes, to answer your question, there are possibilities, but having electrified all our tracks, for India, trains would remain electrical. Because burning any other fuel under the overhead lines would not make sense.
Thanks. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your insight. And I'm sure this helps us, the engineers, to understand what all is available in India, and they take certain steps to be part of the journey which we are seeing coming forward. Thank you very much. Thanks to the audience.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shailendra, for this engaging discussion. May I request the guests to remain on the stage for just one more minute? please, we are driven by technology, powered by innovation, but limited by time. I'm really sorry that we have to stop a very engaging quick Q&A session right here, but you can always connect with our guests on stage. May I call upon Mr. Dattakumar R. of NIE College Treasurer to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, dignitaries. I would just take 2 minutes to take this closure formally. While the luminaries were making their presentations, I think for all of us and all of you as youngsters here, it was a great time to understand how they were able to make those head-ons. One thing that Sudhanshu Mani sir expressed was, it's still lingering in my mind. Teamwork makes the dream work, but a vision becomes a nightmare when the leader has big dreams and bad dreams encourage innovation. So it's very interesting for all of us as youngsters to understand how we can collaborate with a leader's dream to making it happen. And from a leadership perspective, we all heard many important things come up in terms of creating our own and the human resources to be completely supported. How we can leverage encouraging innovation, how youngsters in the team can support the leader in terms of directing and taking that energy which is being directed. These were a few things from Sudhanshu sir's observations that I took. Thank you so much for making all of them live, sir. I've also made a list of a couple of things that Dr. Annadurai mentioned. One thing he said, which was very interesting and a great takeaway for all of us, is about taking responsibility. And of course, in all our classes, wherever teachers teach, they all talk about taking responsibility. We only hear, but we don't even give a lot of weightage to what taking responsibility is all about. The other very interesting observation that I could make is about project execution that Dr. Annadurai mentioned. He said, execution without planning is a real disaster, and it's very true. Even this, in most of the management lessons they are taught, but they are only heard, but not understood well. The other part that is all the time stressed in most of the corporates, as well as in the academia, is about team building. And it was very interesting to note, Dr. Annadurai sir, about the team building that you made it happen across nationalities. Kudos to ISRO there. And that is bringing in a lot of inclusivity in the space program. So these were what I can share, a little saramsh of the two from a management perspective. It was very lively and it was illuminating in that sense. Thank you, both of you, for sharing this dias for us. On a closing note, may I now call upon DS Dr. Ranganath, President of the NIE Management Society, and Sri Lakshmanan, CHRO of Larsen & Toubro Technology Services, to present tokens of appreciation to both the luminaries on the DS.
Hello. Yeah, so you'll all agree that flowers should never be wasted. I'm going to be in a plane. So I think you'll agree with me if I hand over these flowers to Preeti here, who spoke such nice words about me.
Super. Thanks, Dr. Ranganath, and thanks, Sri Lakshmanan, for doing the honors. Yeah, I think we assemble for a group photo now. A group photo for the media. Thanks to all of you. You've been a wonderful audience.